And so all of us, as the Muslim poets put it, weeping bitterly as we move out of the divine presence and enter the world and behold for the first time that which is not God, retain somewhere within our souls a memory of that primordial covenant with God. The Persian poets famously call it the Ruzi Alast, the day of Am I not your Lord? If you read Rumi, you'll see it constantly invoked. Rumi says, for instance, "We were born to be the companions of the angels. Let us go there again, friend, for that is our country." That urging us to reflection and to spiritual progress. So human beings in the world have a passional aspect which they share with the animals. In that sense, they are of the world, but they nonetheless are the shrines of the ruh, of the spirit, which is yearning for the return to that country. In fact, those of you who've looked at Rumi's great spiritual poem, the Mathnavi, will see that he actually starts by comparing the human soul to a reed pipe. In medieval Anatolia, long pipes were made out of reeds. And he says that the song of the reed pipe is actually its lament, its mournful desire to return to the reed bed from which it was torn. And the human soul, when God breathes through it, is actually singing the same lament. It's a kind of nostalgia. Now, this nostalgia is generally termed in Islamic spirituality Hima. It means something like yearning or longing. One reason why so much Muslim song and poetry is about separation from the beloved. It's a classic theme that the lover has been separated from his loved one, and he has himma, a desire to be reunited with her. And this is an image which our poets very often use for this loving desire to be reunited to the divine beloved. So we have this nostalgia, which is the novice's as yet inarticulate yearning to return to the divine reed bed from which we were torn. And we find so much of the Muslim devotional literature focusing on this question of himma, to celebrate it and also to inspire it in people. Sometimes we'll find wistful poems about heaven, for instance. Sometimes we'll find verses about the fullness of life in God, which our intuition somehow tells us is possible, that somehow in some unimaginable past we shared in the life in God, but which we in our worldly state grasp only very vaguely. So a saying common amongst the early Muslims was, people are asleep, and when they die, they wake up. And the task of the spiritual wayfarer is to wake up before you actually die. A famous Bosnian poet, for instance, Hasan Qa'imi, said, "O Qa'imi, wake up and see, do you even understand the bed where you are sleeping? Only those who are awake may truly claim to be lovers." One could literally cite millions of other verses by Muslim poets along the same lines.